Yes people, welcome to Footy Fans TV. I hope everybody's doing well. Please remember to subscribe, like and share. As with always, here's a roundup of the news from the last 24 hours. Starting with a player that's pretty much infamous in the world of football, Mario Balotelli. Now he was released by his club Brescia at the end of last season because they were relegated from Serie A to Serie B. Since then he hasn't had a club, but he says that he's going to sign to a club very soon in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be announced. Words from his mouth. We did see a deal to Saint Etienne collapse, but he's saying that he has a move on the cards, so watch this space. It's crazy to think that he was one of the highest rated talents back in the day. He's been at Inter Milan, AC Milan, Liverpool, Manchester City, but it just hasn't really worked out for him. And then moving on to Manchester United. So they've been linked with a number of defensive players. Now the two that we're hearing most recently is Pau Torres of Villarreal and Jules Koundé from Sevilla. So both players that currently play in La Liga. Now Pau Torres has a £45 million release clause in his contract, which Manchester United are looking to activate. Jules Koundé, on the other hand, has a £60 million release clause in his contract. So either one of those players could be options for Manchester United at the back, but obviously they won't be able to go in for them until at least the January transfer window. And sticking with the club, and they say they have a player in their academy right now who they see as a long-term alternative to someone like a Jadon Sancho. I say long-term because he's only 16 years old. He's named Shola Shortire. He spent time at Newcastle United, moved to Manchester United. He's been at the club since he was 10 years old. They rate him very highly and say that he's above everyone else in his age group. Now moving to the blue side of Manchester, and City have been linked with a move for Ajax left-back Nicolas Tagliafico. Now the 28-year-old was linked with a move to Manchester City in the summer, but it didn't quite materialise. He's expected to cost around £20 million, so not that much money for a club like Manchester City, and he would offer an alternative in that left-back position to someone like a Benjamin Mendy or a Zinchenko, neither of which have really blown anyone away. Sticking with left-backs, and we move on to Danny Rose. Now he hasn't been given a squad number by Spurs. He's not in their Europa League squad. His contract with the club expires 2021 June, and it doesn't look like he's going to be in Jose Mourinho's plans. He was linked with a move away from the club, but nothing has materialised up until this point, and most recently there's been rumours that he may move down to the Championship. He himself had said that he's not willing to do that, so at this point in time there's only really three options for him. Number one, he stays at Spurs and tries to fight for a place or sits on the bench. Number two, he moves to Portugal because their window is still open. Or number three, he moves to the MLS. In any event, it doesn't look like he's going to be a Spurs player by this time next year. And moving to Serie A, and we understand that Inter Milan offered Christian Eriksen plus cash to Bayern Munich for Jerome Boateng. Bayern Munich turned that down because they would rather keep a hold of the player. And moving on to Juventus, and Cristiano Ronaldo has tested positive for COVID-19. Now his family have come out and put some very interesting tweets out there saying that this proves that the whole COVID-19 thing is just a big fraud, that it's a lie. Yes, of course it's an illness, but it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be, and the governments are lying to us. So pretty controversial. Cristiano himself hasn't come out and said anything on top of that. So let's see what happens in the next 24 to 48 hours. He may end up saying nothing about it, but it does seem very bizarre that his mum and his sister would come out with these comments. And moving on to La Liga, and we'll start with Real Madrid. Now they have a 16-year-old player in their academy. He's been with the club for 7 years. His name is Takuhiro Nakai, and he's the next Japanese sensation. We've got to keep a close eye on this one because, again, the club are saying that for his age group, for the level that he's at, he is above and beyond his peers, so he's another one to watch. And then moving on to their Catalan rivals, Barcelona, we understand that they're interested in bringing Paul Pogba to the Camp Nou. Now, Pogba's contract at the moment at Manchester United expires June 2021. There is an option to extend that for one more year, and in any event, it probably looks like Manchester United will do that. Even if they do want to sell the player on, they're not going to let him go for free, so they will probably exercise that 1 year option at a minimum. That's if they don't give Pogba a revised contract with a longer term extension. But Barcelona are understood to be in for him. They want to bring the player to the Camp Nou. And then we move on to another Premier League player that's being linked with both Real Madrid and Barcelona, and that's Adama Traore of Wolves. Now you have to remember that he was at La Masia for over 10 years, but left the club to move to Aston Villa. He's now at Wolves, playing under Nuno Espirito Santo. We're seeing flashes of brilliance from him, and that's obviously putting him on the radar of other bigger clubs. He's only 24 years old. We understand that this summer coming up, 2021, both Real Madrid and Barcelona would like to add him to their squads. I don't know if the fact that he was at Barcelona plays in their favour, or goes against them. But again, that's another one to watch. He's a great player when he's on form. If he can keep that form, he'll continue to be linked with big clubs and a move away from Molineux. And the last one that we'll finish up with is Neymar breaking El Phenomenon, the original Ronaldo's goal scoring record for Brazil. So Neymar now has 64 international goals to his name, surpassing Ronaldo's record, and he's now only behind Pele on 77. At 28 years old, you have to imagine if he keeps on getting in that Brazil squad, he's probably going to become their all-time top goal scorer. But he posted something up on social media yesterday when he broke that record to basically say, R9, massive respect for you. You are the phenomenon. Everything's kind of modeled on you. And again, we have to agree with that. R9 has to be the best number 9 that ever did it, ever. So massive respect to Ronaldo, R9. Well done to Neymar for beating that record. And that's your roundup for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.